Hi everyone, my name is Maria, and today we're going to be talking about two life skills: responsible decision making and executive function. So let's do a quick warm up. Think about the last decision you made today. It could be big or small, like what you ate for breakfast or lunch, how you responded to a message, or whether you did your homework right away or not. And ask yourself, did I think it through? Did I consider the consequences? And did I stick to my plan? Here's the truth: whether we realize it or not, our brains are making hundreds and hundreds of decisions a day, and how we make them can either move us toward success or set us back. By the end of the lesson, you'll know exactly what responsible decision making and executive function are, why they matter, and how to make them work for you every day. So we have a few lesson objectives. Okay, by the end of today's lesson, you will be able to define responsible decision making and executive function, recognize how they work together, identify strategies to strengthen both skills, and practice applying them to real life scenarios. So let's start. Let's start with responsible decision making. Okay, responsible decision making is choosing actions that are ethical, safe, and beneficial, not just for you, but for others too. Okay, so there's 5 main steps that I want you guys to focus on when it comes down to responsible decision making, which is 1, identify the problem; 2, brainstorm options; 3, consider consequences; 4, choose the best option; and 5, reflect afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to take you through some real life examples that can help us really get into the rhythm of using our 5 steps, okay? So our first one is: imagine you're upset and you want to post something on Instagram calling someone out. Okay, step 1, identify the problem. The problem is that I'm angry at my friend. Step 2, our options: we could post now, we could wait and cool off, or we could talk privately. Okay, step 3, what are our consequences? Posting now could hurt my friend and my own reputation. Okay, waiting gives me time to think, and talking could solve the problem. So now we move on to step 4, which is what's your best option? For me, my best option is to wait and cool off and then talk privately. So I use 2 of my options to find my best options. I combined both of them, okay? So wait and cool off, then talk privately, and then reflect. So because I waited and cooled off and then talked privately, I was able to keep the friendship and avoid public drama. Okay, so that's our first real life example. Before we get into our second one, I want you to pause and think of a decision that you kind of regret or you wish that you could have done differently. Walk through the 5 steps. What would you do differently if you could go back? Okay, just keep it to yourself. You don't need to tell me. Moving on, our second example. You have a group project due, and one of the members suggests skipping research to save time. Okay, step 1, our problem is that our group wants to cut corners. Step 2, our options are to agree, speak up, or talk privately to the leader of the group. Okay. Step 3, figure out our consequences. Agreeing risks failing, right? Because we're not doing a bunch of research or all of the research that we need to do. Speaking up may cause tension, and talking privately may get better results. Okay, so what's our best option? My best option would be talking privately to whoever the leader or maybe the teacher or so on and so forth, right? Our reflection: we were able to protect the grade without public conflict. That's for me, at least. Now moving on to executive function. Executive function is like the CEO of your brain. It manages working memory, cognitive flexibility, and inhibitory control. Okay, working memory is like holding and using information. Cognitive flexibility is switching between tasks or ideas, and inhibitory control is resisting impulses. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example of working memory, cognitive flexibility, and inhibitory control with an example, just in case you learn better that way. Okay, so our example is that you sit down to study, but TikTok notification pops up. Okay, just a very simple example. So our working memory is you keep track of the homework steps, right? Our cognitive flexibility is you adjust your plan when you hit a hard question, right? And our inhibitory control is you ignore the phone until your study break. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm gonna do kind of like a guided practice with you guys. I'm gonna give you a scenario or a situation, and I want you to think about what executive function skill you'd need the most. Okay, so our first one is you're cooking dinner while helping your little sibling with homework. What executive function skills would you need? Okay, I'm gonna say it again. You're cooking dinner while helping your little siblings with homework. You are going to need working memory and cognitive flexibility. Okay, so working memory and flexibility. Number 2, you're tempted to spend money you've been saving for a concert. What executive function skill are you going to need? You're tempted to spend money you've been saving for a concert. That's going to be your inhibitory control. You're resisting impulses, okay? Number 3, you need to remember and follow 5 steps for a science experiment. Again, what executive function skill are you going to need? You need to remember and follow 5 steps for a science experiment. That's going to be working memory, okay? Let's move on to how they work together. Okay, executive function is like the toolkit. Responsible decision making is how you use the tools. Okay, an example, you're deciding whether to skip class. Executive function plans the day, remembers the consequences, controls the urge to skip. Responsible decision making chooses what's best for your education and commitments. Moving forward. There are some strengthening skills that I want you guys to think about when you are going through or making a big decision. One of the skills is to pause and breathe before making decisions. Number 2 is to make a pros and cons list for big choices. Number 3 is to set goals so decisions align with your plans. Step 4 or number 4 is reflect daily. I want you to write down one decision and how it went. And number 5, I want you to practice mindfulness to stay aware of impulses. Excuse me. Now, I'm going to give you 3 scenarios. For each one, pause the video and go through problem, options, consequences, choice, reflection. Okay? So I'm going to give you the scenarios, pause the video, go through those, and then come back. Number 1, you have 2 hours before bed. Study for your math test or watch Netflix. Pause the video, go through problem, options, consequences, choice, reflection, and then come back. Okay, now, number 2, your friend pressures you to join a prank on another student. Remember, go through problem, options, consequences, choice, reflection. This is just for you, so you don't need to tell me this. This is just for you. Now, welcome back for the 3rd time. And number 3, you get invited to hang out, but you have an early morning shift. So go through problems, options, consequences, choice, reflection one more time. Welcome back. Okay, so as our lesson comes to an end, we have learned that executive function manages your thinking behavior. Responsible decision making uses those skills to make positive choices. I have a challenge for you. For the next week, before you make any important decisions, slow down and walk through our 5 steps that we learned. Thank you for joining me today.